Welcome to our video tutorial where we illustrate an Excel built-in event, a worksheet selection change event and its event procedure. We start with explaining the selection change event and some of its concepts. Then we will illustrate the VBA procedure. You can auto run a VBA code each time you make a new selection on the worksheet with the worksheet selection change event. The selection change event occurs when the selection changes on a worksheet, either by the user or by any VBA application. In contrast, the worksheet change event fires when the content in a cell changes, while the selection change event fires when a new cell is selected. So here we have cell J4. If we change the content here, yellow to hello, this will fire a selection change. This will fire a worksheet change event. And from cell J4, if we change the selection to cell J6, this will fire a selection change event. We had earlier explained that an event procedure, that is the Excel built-in event procedure, has a predetermined name. So all events which are built in Excel, they have associated procedures which have a predetermined name. You can write a customized VBA code for each event which will get executed when the event is triggered. This VBA code is installed within its appropriate object module. So a worksheet event will be located in its sheet module. We had also explained in detail that target is a parameter of data type range, meaning target is a range object. It refers to the targeted range and can consist of one or multiple cells. If target is in the defined range, it will trigger the VBA procedure. If it is not in the defined range, nothing will happen in the worksheet. So you can use the target parameter to confine the triggering of an event to a specific area in a worksheet. We'll come to this later when we run through the VBA code. We had also explained in detail a recursive event loop. Recursion is a process of repeating in a similar way when the procedure starts calling itself again and again. To prevent recursion, we enter this code in the beginning. We set enable events to false so that any change made by the VBA code will not trigger another event to start it again. Otherwise, in some cases, the VBA code triggers an event which will again restart the event again, and this goes into a loop. So we also make it a point to set enable events to true at the end of the code, because this requires to be done manually. It does not change automatically. Now let's run through the Visual Basic editor. We'll go to an event procedure which contains a customized VBA code which will be executed when the selection change event is triggered. Now we are currently viewing the selection change event, which is in sheet 1. On the top of the code module, we can select the object, the worksheet object. On the right drop down, we can view all the events, the built-in events associated with this object. We select the selection change event. In this is the customized code for the selection change event, which is in sheet 1. What this code does is that when a new cell is selected in column 1 or 2, that is A or B in sheet 1, except when the selected cell is A1 or B1, And if the selected cell value is numeric, then cell B2 value is incremented by 1. So here we mention that if the target cell is A1 or B1, then we exit the sub. If the target column is 1 or 2, so any selection made in column 1 or 2, and if the new cell is numeric, it is not text, the value in cell B2 will increment by 1. So this is the customized code. Now let's go to sheet 1 and see how this works. Here we have made a new selection, but being a non-numeric cell, the value in cell B2 has not incremented. Similarly, cell A1 and B1, which come in the exception list, nothing happens. If we select cell A5, the value in cell B2 is incremented by 1 because it's a numeric cell. Selecting, if the new cell selection is not numeric, again, hello. Cell B6, nothing happens in B2. We select a numeric cell, it's a formula. The value is incremented by 1. We select a cell in column C, again, with the target parameter, we have restricted the event trigger to column A and B only. So again, selecting any cell in column C, nothing will happen. Now let's go to another selection change event. This is in sheet 2. Now running through this code, what does this do? On selection of any cell, that is the target cell, in the whole worksheet, this procedure will select one cell above the left of the target cell. So it will offset by one row above and one column to the left. You may use this macro to shift selection to any specific cell whenever you activate a worksheet. To prevent recursion, as explained earlier, we set enable events to false. We start with an error statement. So on the occurrence of an error, we go to the error handler. We can come across an error if, say, we select cell A1, we cannot go to the left, we cannot go above, so the selection cannot be offset, so which will cause an error in the procedure. And on encountering this error, nothing will happen in the worksheet, we'll just go to the error handler. Here we exclude column C. If target intersects, we are using the intersect method. If target intersects with the defined range of column C, that is, if cell selected is in column C, then we exit the sub. We go to the error handler. So if the selection is not in column C, we get a active cell address message. We get the address of the selected cell. Then our selection changes to one row above and one column to the left. We use this offset function to do this. We offset by -1 for the row and column. Then we get the address of the new selection. The selection changes or is offset. This is the event handler, the error handler, where we manually set enable events to true because this is not automatically changed back to true, and this needs to be specifically done. And because an exit statement is not placed above this, there is no exit statement before this, the error handling routine will execute even if there is no error. So even if we do not encounter any error, enable events will be set to true. Now let's go to sheet 2 to see how this works. Now here we are in cell A1, we select, we get the message box of the current selection. After this, we have gone to the error handler, nothing happens, so we do not get the next message. Here we have selected cell B7, we have got the range in a message box. Then then the selection is offset, one row above and one column to the left. The new selection is A6. We have got the message for the range address, and this is A6. Column C, nothing happens, no message box, because column C is an exception. So this is how we have demonstrated using a worksheet selection change event and how it triggers a customized VBA code. We hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial and you found it useful. Thank you.